It's a Japanese box, which I think there was something, maybe. The serialized cards, not that they're super great. In fact, I'm pretty sure Fable CNC is better than them in actuality. But you never know. They pretty much died off in terms of interest. In fact, I can't remember if I ever saw or read any actually being pulled from the Japanese batch, right? Because I know they said they added it in both, but it was an announcement that didn't quite sit right with me, right? Again, being a bit pessimistic. But, like, timing-wise, it was kind of weird. It's one of those things where you kind of have it done already. But I don't. Yeah, paperbacks are good. Definitely lost any interest in them from a marketing perspective, because the world just stopped caring. But they are nicer because you can just shred them to pieces. Any angels we're pretty happy with. I think they all are better across the board than the dragons. See what we can luck out with. And I don't have a Light of Soul, so I guess I'd be okay with a Light of Soul. Everything's at the back, right? We're back to, yeah, everything at the back. Alright. Pick up dinner to start. I think all the expansion slot cards are better than the inset Majestics as well. Just again, because of ratios and everything. You have so many more classes wanting and fighting and trying to get the expansion slot cards versus the plethora of inset that aren't even all played. Prism, meh. It does feel kind of weird going from paper to now ripping these open. They just feel like tacky. Alright, our cold foil is crappy. The cold foil in this set is probably the worst in any set. Right, because there's 12 just shit pieces. Absolutely shit. Vortex, I thought all the Arsenal Disruption would be cool. Not quite, though. Suppose if it wasn't each. You guys, I don't know why we're actually opening Dust till Dawn. I remember it's actually not that good. It has some okay, well, it doesn't even have some okay high end. Thinking about it, and you will just get absolutely shafted with the cold foils. In my opinion, don't look that great either. I think thematically, it's probably one of the best sets, but then, I mean, in this lighting, it's not so bad. Problem is the real dark side of this. Not as good. I would have loved to see it in rainbow foil. I think a big thing is because a lot of the cards feel midway between this and being part of a draftable set. I feel like it would have had much more success being draftable. Alright, Figments. I think they're all okay-ish M's, right? A few dollars. Obviously, we want them as Marvel. Sensor. I think Sensor's okay. Name a card that can't play. It's like the ultimate deck tech, right? If you know the big linchpin for your opponents. We should probably run in Melody. That'd be nice to combo with pick a card. Because there's just a threat of I can straight away disable something in your hand. Beckoning Lights. Yeah. Poison the Well should have also been an aura and lasted a bit longer. It's just not impactful enough for one turn. There's just not that much life gain. Right, you can't bank on a sigil, regardless of how often it's played. Widespread Ruin. I feel like the EAs have also dropped tremendously. Oh, there's an L. Is it that good? I don't think Soulbound Resolve's that good. Still though, an L straight away. Makes up for the Dynasty-ish. Let's see. Soulbound. I think it is played, if I remember correctly. Soulbond. Always keep it bound. But it's just, again, there's just so many of them. Because in the first little wave, right, a lot of D2D was broken. Yeah, it's wonderful to see. You pay a case, you get a $9 legendary. But again, in terms of keeping the cards cheap for playing, that was almost disastrous. Nope. Cooldown Lightning, also wonderful to see. The amount of elemental. And tail, well, all the tails were basically gone at this point too as well, weren't they? So it was either we were hoping for, well, I was hoping for their reprints to come in this set, or it to be the follow-up set. Obviously, neither thing occurred. But even just, yeah, a throwaway reprint of a hero, because they don't need a big toolkit if it's just to re-enable all the cards. Anyway, obviously not a great first box. Even though we did get out. It is unfortunately how it goes sometimes with opening tab. Collectability is sadly dwindling. Alright. Marvel or bust, basically. Luring Inducements. Also a fun card. I feel like base damage should be a bit better. So that you're not penalized if it's ever naked. Hold the line. Draw 4 more. Draw is also something like they can never really power creep. Right, the majority of things are neutral draw. Which makes 2 draw being the starting point for a lot of them. But then again, the chance of you having this right when they go for their draw is a big issue. The idea is that it's blue, so you cycle it back. Then by the time you do that, there's even less chance that they've held their draw, because why would they be drawing late into the game? Frontline Helm, another awful cold foil. Although these could be nice with Olympia, depending on the ruling. Beginning of your end phase, put a -1. If it started at 3, that would have made the world of difference, right? Because then they don't feel shit. Because there's just no point in running these over any of the other equipment. You go first, it's automatically a minus. You don't go first, it's an okay card, it's not great. I'm starting to see why I never open these. why I left Dusk Till Dawn sealed. Back to reality. Next time it hits, destroy a non-token aura they control with cost less than or equal to the damage dealt this way. I don't get the non-token part, right? Because the majority of auras are tokens that you actually want to disrupt. And also, pigments aren't auras, so it's not like it plays against the inset mechanics. Oh, just nice, cheeky marvel poking through. Nope. Another dimensional vortex. More frontline gear. Meh. Well, I don't think I've completed the sets, funny enough. No, instead I just have like 7 of the chest piece for the Radiant set. Oh, Prism. Oh, I'm right, this was also when they made the Majestic choice. And they kept going with it. Which also is most likely out with Miss Vale. If you look at the token numbers, it could have fit that the adult versions were back to being tokens. But then we now have gold and we now have might, which means nope. Oh, where's the pull that makes this all worthwhile? Well, it's looking like it's not in this box. Oh, right, and also the choice to make the EA Heralds was also just dumb. Right, because they float around as Rainbow Falls as promos. So, they have very, very little desirability. And I would have kind of just taken reprints. Alright, we have another L. So, 2 for 2, which is fantastic. Rapture is definitely a bit better. But I still don't think it's that fantastical. And I also have a bunch of them. But I should say, I did open a ton of Dusk Till Dawn. Like the last set, I did just huge amounts of opening. Alright. We're on a streak with L's. So we'll keep going. I gotta get my piece out there. This is the anniversary product. The big milestone was kind of disappointing, in actuality. Imagine if the serialized art cards, just hear me out, instead of being, was it 10 and 10? Whatever the count was one of every single hero in the game up until that point. Can you imagine how much more desirable they would be? A one of that is now your ultimate flex piece as whatever hero. You hit every single person in the community with interest, and well, there would have been more than 20, which would have been better as well, because I think the low number worked against it more than for it. And overall would have just, again, brought more interest to a set that, while it has LSS's favorite character, I wouldn't say is conventionally the player base's favorite. I'm sure, yes, Prism is widely loved and cherished. But when you see the, like, Brute community go crazy over the speculation for heavy hitters, it feels like it's fringe. There's definitely people who cherish each class, but it's not all the Prism love that we get. Like, I even found that statue weird for LL. Like, Stravo would have been the big pinnacle statue to give. Because even in the competition, the first Living Legend competition, wasn't it just all Stravos winning a Prism trophy? If you go to my channel, there's a lot of negativity towards this set. You can probably hear it coming out. Well, Klloo, also a fun interaction. Kind of weird though, considering that he didn't really keep with the whole shooter mechanic, which is kind of weird. Like, it feels like the thing they were going to put in every blitz deck, and then they just decided no. Another cooldown lightning foil this time. Hold it in case Lexi comes back. But I can't see them doing 1-for-1 with the elemental heroes that are gone. Yeah, it's definitely better than the last case. But I'm pretty sure almost any owl from well, maybe not the Emperor, but most likely most owls from Dynasty would be better than every owl from Dusk Till Dawn in their equivalent foiling. More figments. More elemental cards. Elemental has to be the last set of the year, surely. I know Arcane would make the most sense, but they need to start cycling back cards. This is probably one of my favorite arts though, especially in Rainbow Foil. I don't think the card's any good. It's just like confusion on top of Rootblade. They have so many wordy cards. Show us a third owl streak. Warmongers. Do like to see that. I got Soul Bond Resolve and the Imperium's Rapture were the two owls. I put them in here because I don't have much respect for them as Rainbow Foils. We'll put them to the side. Where's the other one? There we go. The Imperium's art is gorgeous. I will say that though. Yeah, so Soul Bond Resolve and the Imperium's Rapture, which is pretty nice, right? Two already. Hoping for a third on this one. Our two cold foils were not good though. Radiant something and Frontline something. Speaking of which, have we not gotten one from this box yet? James is used in Levia. Oh cool, that's good to hear. Oh, it's not Runeblade, is it? It's this Shadow. I always just say amount of text and go straight away to it being Runeblade. Alright, so our two owls have led to, it looks like, a full foilless box. Unless I've missed it, but I don't know if you caught that poking through. I did. It is purple. Which one's purple? I don't think it's the top one, or one of the top ones, but it is Tenacity. I think Tenacity's one of the worst ones? What's the effect? When it attacks, you may banish a card from your hero's soul, and then it gains Dominate. Your attacks this turn get Dominate. Oh, that's an interesting effect. Next attack this turn gets Dominate. So I made like a Snatcher Prism, and that could actually go pretty nicely in it, giving Snatch Dominate. So basically, or giving, what's the card? Phantasmal not Symbiosis, the other one. Fractal Replication. Giving Fractal Replication Dominate. Could be super rewarding. Either way, obviously it's a much better box now. 2 legendaries and a Marvel. But I do want to look at Prism. So I forget when the trigger for the Figment is. That could definitely be a fun deck. I know we got one pretty early on. Yeah. So, it is. When a card with Herald in its name is put into Prism Soul, you may search your deck for a Figment, put it into your hand and shuffle. You can't... Can you put Figments in regardless? Yeah, because it's an instant. So if I have this in hand, I can play it. But it costs 4 to play, so that seems awful. You'd have to put a Herald. The only Herald you'd want to play in the Snatcher Prism deck would be Erudition. But even then, it's really bad for the deck because it gives your stuff Phantasm, right? Fractal Replication then gets Phantasm from it. Whereas the only card you want to play with Phantasm is Phantasmal Symbiosis. If you have no idea about the concepts going on, don't worry, that makes sense. A pretty wacky idea to make Prism run or work, I should say. But you can basically just snatch a whole bunch, then duplicate it with Fractal Replication by turning into an Illusionist attack with Phantasmal Symbiosis. Yeah. So it is Figment of Tenacity. Give it a good old price check. Oh, it's going up and up and up. It's kind of weird. But I don't think it's the best one, right? Remember it being quite low. Yes, it is. Bottom one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, not by much. But this is definitely an interesting perception because the Marvel Dragons, they still work out to about 200 case, right? But because they have the perception of being rare, they get less odds. Or they get less absorption, right? Whereas these get more balanced out with the Marvel Dragons because you have the perception of rare versus majestic. The majestic ones absorb more of the value. Yeah, but that is correctly right, Burst Flames. You run Dreamweaver to take the Phantasmal Symbiosis off. Sorry, take the Phantasm off Phantasmal Symbiosis. And then because it's gone from the card, Fractal Replication doesn't piggyback on it. Problem is, if you add another Phantasm card to it, then Fractal Replication now gets Phantasm. Which isn't the end of the world, but I like the idea of playing around toppers. Alright, last box of the case. I would kind of assume it's not going to go so well. Right, it feels like we've high rolled in the top of the case. But you never know. Still, again, like a Light of the Soul. Not for a lack of trying, I will say, right? Cards are, or rare cards, are kind of hard to come by in Australia. There's just not that many people selling. Your best bet would, well, I don't use Facebook Marketplace, I should say, but your best bet's probably going to the event. But having like one major event a year in one of the cities is not that simple. Because it's like a 20-hour drive from me where I am now to get to Melbourne. Versus a still 3-hour drive to get to the closest city. Oh, that's an okay, right? I think it's still 20-ish. $20, I want to say. The worst thing I ever did was I had a full Rainbow 4 playset. I sold them. This was before the post came out too, right? I just sold them because I was like, oh yeah, I'll get more. And nope, caught printed. We'll check how much it is, actually. I'm curious. I remember a lot of people being up in arms because it had the Dynasty card number. Surgical Extraction. Yeah. $15 card. Oh, not bad. God. But yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of why I sold it, right? Before I got known. I mean, I didn't get $120 a piece. Way less, because, again, it was before the thing came out. They were still hefty. Felt like the right thing to do, get rid of them. It wasn't, in hindsight. Well, now that they've dropped, I should say it is. Yeah. Cloak of Darkness. So we hit the trifecta, one of each. Just, I don't know what they were thinking. This is Cold 4. Yeah, it is Cold 4. The sadder thing too, though, Flesh and Blood is very much dwindling here in Oz. It's already, most of the newsletters that I get email-wise from stores, it's been gone from so many of them for the past couple of years. Even one of the major ones has dropped it off the newsletter. They did a post about Miss Vale, but that's it. It's not like in their sales or anything like that. And yeah, event-wise, I only have 2, right? I think either I drove 3 hours in one direction or 2 hours in the other. But in both cases, they aren't really run weekly. But again, it's not. So I play competitive. But it's nice to obviously just have the social crowd and play some fun deck. So I suppose it doesn't have to be in an LGS in a competition setting. I still have plenty of fun with it. Alright, so our thoughts were correct. This does appear to be sort of a dud box. Handful of packs left. Oh, just a good M. Good M to end it off. Nope. It's, again, I've said this before, but it feels like they're not focusing enough on company growth. Because the main way I look at it, one, you've got James White going around to all the major events, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, that is fantastic to have the person in charge, you know, have a free calendar to do all that. But at the same time, it's sort of the thing where we're at the stage where maybe you shouldn't. Maybe there should be a nice, well-known head for every single region. But it does, yeah, feel like the competitive scene is, or I should say the top of the competitive scene is getting better and better and better, which is fantastic. Again, because that will be the lifeblood, because that's where the money is. But they are overlooking the minor stuff, and a singular armory deck doesn't seem like you're seeing the mark. Them being spaced out is kind of a weird issue. But it just comes back to, it doesn't feel as though their internal resources are growing as much as the game prospect is growing. Alright, but our last box, nada. Oh well. Still did decently. God, what do I want to open? Just have a bunch in range. Let me fish around through my boxes and figure out exactly what I want to grab. I'll put these aside. They go there. Same with the Dynasty ones. We'll open something else though. Gems can just go there.